going on, everybody? It's D here, your friendly neighborhood tattoo VO. And over the weekend, I teased that I was going to tell you a little story about the transition into Florida and all the obstacles we faced before we were able to really shine. So I'd like to hear it go.
It's time to Ink Positive. Tips and insight from the Tattoo VO, D. Alvis, to help you grow your business each and every week.
So in 2016, we were actually making the plans to move. We've been talking about this move down here to the Tampa area for years. We're waiting for our son to finish up high school and figure out what he was going to do. And he wanted to relocate to Delaware. So we had the opportunity to go ahead and do our thing here. Now, we had a house in Maryland, which still to this day, the last couple of years, been one of the toughest markets. So a house that we put a lot of work into, a lot of money into, and we're still completely upside down on because of the way the economy was working. So that was a huge challenge. Figured, okay, let's just fix it up and get it ready to rent out. So what happened was our property manager kind of screwed us, told us that they were going to get somebody in there sooner than later. Once we got down here, turned out they were waiting, and there was nobody renting the house. So paying the mortgage, paying rent down here. Oh, and by the way, we didn't really have jobs yet. So in 2016, I had to leave my job for medical reasons. I could barely walk anymore. So that's when my wife and I decided, it'd probably be a good idea to go ahead and do this VO thing full time. And I didn't really know how to get it going so much, and I figured we kind of had to wait till we got to Florida for me to kind of set everything up the way I really wanted to. I was doing some one-off jobs here and there, sneaking into the old radio station where I was let go from, thanks to some friends over there who were like, yeah, just come on by in the evenings and we'll let you in to use the studios. So, I had a very rudimentary setup in the basement of the old house there in Maryland. And just never quite had it right. Was able to pull some money together that way, but it was really tough going through the medical stuff and all that. And my wife got laid off probably, I think it was like 3 months before we moved. Then the house we were supposed to have down here, that whole deal fell through. So we were scrambling because at the time, basically, we had told the property manager that was taking over for the house in Maryland that we were going to be out of there by the end of January, so because they had somebody lined up to move in and all that. Well, and then the final FU from Maryland was January 30th. We just packed up the cars and it started to snow. I'd already given the shovels and the ice scrapers and all that stuff to our next door neighbors. So they go knock on the door and be like, hey, T, can I get those back real quick? I just want to get these cars cleaned up before we drive down to Florida. So, that was just part of the deal. Then coming down here, and then the house we ended up renting initially had no plumbing, basically, no pipes underneath the kitchen. So we were dealing with floods. My wife got her job and had to start like a week later because we had no plumbing that worked at the time. So, and then there was disasters with the AC there. I'd set up a really nice studio, turn that closet into a nice VO booth, set all this stuff up. And then the AC kept going out to the point where literally cables and pieces from some of my equipment had melted because it ended up being like 120 degrees in that studio room when there was no AC. So August of 2017 is when we moved into this place that we're currently in now. I'd just gotten my wisdom teeth, all four, and a piece of my jaw taken out too, which wasn't very great for, when you talk for a living. So I remember signing the lease for this place and spitting out blood into the sink that same day because I literally had my wisdom teeth taken out earlier that day and then met up with the folks here to get this thing taken care of. But here we are. It's been about 2.5 years since we got into this place. And my wife's gotten, a couple promotions at her job. She's working for one of the top companies in her field. And things are going great for her. She's been the biggest advocate for me forcing myself to push harder each and every day. Supportive of the weird hours I work. Supportive of me going back into the radio game too. because I found an opportunity with some amazing people I know, and I'm having a blast being back on air. But VO is still my main thing, and I can tell you about 100 other struggles that went on. But the bottom line is, we faced a ton of obstacles and made it work. So you just got to keep that mindset that PMA, have the attitude, put in the work, and it definitely helps if you got someone in your life that you can lean on. So that's the story I promised. If anybody's struggling, thinking about moving, I know it ain't easy. Sometimes a great opportunity comes along and you say to yourself, oh, it's scary. I don't want to move across the country or make this move or whatever. But you can do it because there's so many obstacles that can get in your way. At the end of the day, you just got to say, I want this bad enough, and you'll figure it out. And you'll find a way, and just keep grinding away, persevere, and you too can keep shining and live the dream, my friends. Appreciate your time. I'll talk to you all again real soon.